Hello and happy Mother's Day. If you're listening to this on Mother's Day in 2022, then welcome. And if you're listening in the future and you've already done the Feminine Archetypes workshop or have been part of my workshops about feminine energy, then you'll really be able to connect. So, welcome. So, today on Mother's Day, I want to celebrate all kinds of mothers. And a lot of people would be thinking, how many different kinds of mothers can be there? And so I am going to be dealing with mothers according to the feminine archetypes and how you can adopt or transform yourself using these different energies. So let's start with the maiden archetype mother. Now, a mother who is in her maiden archetype is fun, bubbly, is a great friend to her child. So she's very childlike and she really loves to enjoy all the things that children love. But there can be a little problem with that. That sometimes the child thinks that they have to be the parent to their own parent, and the mother may not be very responsible. So a mother who's in her maiden archetype is so fun loving and is fun to hang out with, but build your responsibility. The next is the lover archetype mother. Now, the lover archetype mother loves to have a life led by passion and pleasure. Now, if her passion and pleasure lies outside of her child, she may have a chance of abandoning her child for her bigger projects, for her bigger dreams. But if she makes her child her passion project, then she's going to put all of that energy into her child and all of that creativity into her child. So creative food, creative meals, the way she dresses her child up creatively, or the way she, all the different hobbies that she teaches her child becomes her passion project. The next archetype is the warrior mother. Now, the warrior mother archetype is very, very important in mothers who have children with special needs. A special needs child who is either autistic or Down syndrome or deaf mute or some kind of special needs, where the mother knows that I will have a challenging time and I am going to be fighting a war for my child. So, parenting is challenging for all parents, but parenting is especially a challenge for special needs, for parents with special needs. And the warrior archetype loves to rise up for a challenge. That's a beautiful archetype for parents with special needs. The next archetype is the nurturer archetype, which is also many times called the maternal archetype, okay, the mother archetype. Now, that is because it's the stereotypical or the typical thing of a mother who is loving, caring, nurturing, and very compassionate. So, the first thing I want to say is that not all mothers have their predominant nurturer archetype. Okay, so many would think I'm not a good mother because I don't have the nurturer archetype so strong in me. But this video is trying to tell you that all mothers are amazing mothers and all kinds of mothers are required in this world. The warrior, the lover, the maiden mothers, all kinds of mothers. So that's the first thing, that not all mothers have their nurturer archetype very high. The second thing is that the nurturer archetype mothers, the quintessential nurturer, will give a lot of herself and she may feel a lot of burnout because of all the love that she has given. The second thing that the nurturer mother would have is when her children have grown up and left, she may feel that empty nest syndrome. And that is when she can start to nurture other things to fill that gap, like she can have plants or she can have pets or other kind of pet projects where she can outpour all of her love and compassion into those things, like this beautiful garden of my mother's. The next archetype is the queen archetype. Now, this queen archetype is beautiful if your child has their love language as words of affirmation. What does that mean? That your child loves for you to say beautiful words to them, that you are good, you are wonderful, wow, you've done such a good job. Someone who's very verbal. So the queen archetype is very verbal, expresses very well, expresses all her needs, but expresses gratitude, expresses appreciation. So if your child has a words of affirmation as their love language, then you would want to get the queen archetype within you. The next is the high priestess archetype. Now, the High Priestess archetype is a very good listener, is someone who has very good boundaries, and is someone who gives very sage advice, and but is not very cloy, very clingy, or very nurturing. So the High Priestess archetype is a beautiful archetype to have when you have preteens and teenage kids, because that time they don't want a mother who's totally in her Nurturer archetype. Beta ye khalo, beta ye kar lo. No, they want a good listener, a good companion mother. So the High Priestess is the archetype, is a beautiful archetype for that time. The next archetype is the wise woman or the crone archetype. And this is the kind of mother you want to be to your children in the older ages. When your child is 30 years old, when your child is 50 years old, you're still a mother to them. And that is the time where your wise woman archetype comes in, and where your children come with asking advice about parenting their own children, and that grandmother feeling. And so at that time, you have such a vast thing of experience, of your own experiences. So you can speak from your own experiences. And that is the time, a beautiful time to have the wise woman archetype within you. The last archetype I'm going to talk about is the wild woman archetype. Now, the wild woman archetype is a shapeshifter and is a trailblazer, right? So it doesn't follow any particular thing, but does basically things that society has not been accepted in society so well. So where does the wild woman archetype come in? She is the mother who will outwardly express her love for her gay children. She is going to be the one who's going to get her gay children married or stand up for other gay children. She is the one who's going to adopt children, adopt girls, not just one, she's going to adopt multiple children. She's the one who's going to adopt special needs children. She is the one who's going to, do these kind of amazing, big, larger than life things that not all mothers can do. And when you look at a wild woman maternal archetype, and these are the mothers who get written about in newspapers, in magazines, that my God, she's the one who did this and that. And again, so it's a beautiful archetype to have. And so this is my Mother's Day gift to all the mothers out there, especially mothers who have conceived and who are pregnant, or new mothers who are just trying to understand what kind of a mother am I going to be to my children. The first thing is understanding what kind of a woman are you, what kind of feminine energies and what kind of feminine archetypes do you have within you. And then understanding that each archetype is beautiful and has amazing energy, and you can channel each one of them during different stages of your life, and you can adopt and adapt and transform to the needs of the hour. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You're very special, just like your children. Bye-bye.